in St. Elmo, Illinois. Guys, check it out. I want to do a video on bulk forging railroad spike knives for fun and profit. And the reason I did for fun and profit is because I remember always seeing those pamphlets like raised chickens for meat, eggs, fun and profit or something like that, you know. Well, guys, what I'm doing, we've got some events coming up very soon. We've got some local events that, like small festivals and stuff, and I'm working on, let me turn this around. I'm working on a bulk amount of spike knives. Now, this is all a forge for effect type situation. They're not going to be fine finished, but something for a souvenir for some of the events that Cheyenne and Lizzie are going to be showing up at. So I just relined my forge, and I know I've been talking about doing that for a bit, so I just relined it real quick. And one of the things I'm going to do, I did one of these up real quick. Now that doesn't look much like a knife blade, so what I'm going to do is come in real quick. And that makes a knife blade. Now the rest is going to be ground, except we got to put a twist in that handle, guys. I was doing this yesterday. We're actually going to be closed a good portion of today due to the heat. So I figured, why not heat the place up, right? Now I need that to come up to a high temp so I can do a twist. And we're going to be moving back and forth quite a bit. Here's the power hammer. It's already on. We're going to get it going. How much beating can I do in one heat? Why do power hammers cost as much as they do? That's a good question somebody's going to ask. Because they are worth it, people. I just did a lot of forging in a short amount of time with that piece of equipment over there. Shout out to Robbie Bowman, Iron Mountain Metalcraft, who made me the deal on this in the Raymond Head down in Arkansas. I think it's Arkansas who made that piece. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let the temperature keep coming up. I'm going to do a quick forging tip real quick on that piece. And then I'm going to end up twisting the handle on the next one. I'm just going to keep cycling through. I'm going to see how long it takes me to do 12 of these, people. 12 of these at, let's say I'm going to put 40 bucks on them, which Lizzie will put them higher. But let's say I'm going to try to draw $40 a piece off these. Then, yeah. Then I think 12 of these are $480. I'll see how long it takes me to make $480. That doesn't count grinding, and of course we're going to do some super quench, I'm sure. Guys, we're collaborating with a couple different businesses. Check the descriptions, link in the descriptions. You're going to find some links to our location here at Axon Main Forge of Memory. You're going to find Iron Mountain Metalcraft, Forge of Memory family for in-depth, instruction on how to make knives and other cool things. You can also check out Trent Time Purgatory Iron Works. I anticipate some builds in the near future. I'm not going to be the one to announce that though. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, get on her, it's a good time to do so. Wasn't quite hot enough on that one. There you go, guys. There's one. I'll get that just a little bit hotter because I want that to twist a little bit easier than what that last one did. When I do that, I want to get these next two in. We're going to see how long it takes me to make 12 of these. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, great time to do so. Be sure to check out some of the links in the description. All right. Alright guys, there's two. Alright, it's starting to get warm. Let me grab my water. Repetition, practice is what's going to make perfect. There is some truth to that. If you've got the right tooling, the right equipment, so forth. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for forge for effect on these. Stay hydrated, guys. So as those are coming up, we can go ahead and talk just a little bit because I don't want to work them too cold. And the temperature of the forge has dropped drastically at this point because I've just introduced essentially cold steel, cold material into that forge. Is it Kenny or is it Keeney? How's it going? So, we are 11 minutes in. I've already got 2 of these forged out. My goal is, let's see about how long it's going to take to do 12. I got 4 more right here. Put those to the side. I got 2 heating up. It's only taking me a couple heats to get these going. Running 2 at a time, it moves pretty quick. Now I could run 3 if I had a little bigger forge, but I am using my preferred forge, and that's my little Atlas forge back here that has seen better days. All right. So first thing that we're going to do as soon as that comes up to temp, we're going to go over to the power hammer again, and I'm going to forge out those blade sections. Try to get that transition centered somewhat, and then I may or may not have to do a secondary heat to refine that blade shape, turn it around, do my twist. Of course, as you may have just noticed, that if my twist is not ideal, I'm not going to say perfect because I don't do anything perfect. If it's not ideal, then what I need to do is heat it again and do some straightening up here on the anvil. So each piece is going to be unique. It's going to be a little different. And that's kind of what makes doing what I do, what we do here at Axon Main Forge Memory, unique, is that each piece, we can use the same size stock, use the same hammer, the same anvil, the same forge, the same everything. And everybody's going to turn something out a little different. And that really lends to how unique each piece is, but how unique and different, but what common points we all have together. We are just about up to 10. Let me check this. We'll crank that up. It's looking good. Straighten this one out a little bit. That one's forged reasonably close enough to shape that all I really need to do without the bent off to the side, put the bender back. lot of that's going to get ground away, but let's see what we can do. We got another one coming up. I didn't realize I was up to temp, but I am. Are most railroad spikes high carbon? No, they're not. Timothy Crooker. So here's the thing, man. These are tough steel. We do a water quench on them. These will probably get super quenched, so it's got a higher hardness. But most railroad spikes are not high carbon. Now, the Atlas knife and tool 1078 high carbon spikes, they are. And we do work with those. What I'm working with are standard spikes right now. That's the reason I can beat on them as cool as what I do. There you go, guys. I can grind from there. Okay, I'm letting my other piece come up, and then it'll be another twist. Okay, Timothy, you can, but what I'm doing right now, these are just some cheap ones. They're souvenirs for like tourists and so forth at festivals. So what we do, these are going to be sold cheap. To do do a Sanbai type construction or something, it's going to get up probably over 150 bucks. So what we're doing on these, because I have so many of these spikes, I'm going to be turning some into the spike knives. I'm going to be turning some into steak turners, maybe bottle openers, different things like that. So what I'm doing right now, this is just a way that if you do what I do, you too can turn out a bunch of these reasonably cheaply and make some money off of it, and maybe feed the habit. You know, feed the hobby. Buy more equipment. Maybe you want a better anvil or a forge or something like that. that's what we look at. That's the application of this. However, if you would like to see some builds on high carbon blades and how to finish them out, check out the link in the description for Forge and Memory Family. A couple more in the forge. All right, guys, so that's 4 of them in about 20 minutes. Whew, yeah. Very cool, Timothy, and thank you. So guys, I want to tell you about some of the classes we've got coming up September 6th and 7th at the Turtle Island Preserve. That would be Mrs. Conway from Mountain Men right there. Cheyenne and I have the privilege of instructing under Robbie Bowman of Iron Mountain Metalcraft. Link in the description for both, for Turtle Island and for Iron Mountain Metalcraft and Forge Memory Family. We'll be instructing down there at Mrs. Conway's Turtle Island Preserve from Mountain Men on the History Channel, and teaching people how to take a cold forge and blacksmithing equipment. And we're going to start making some horseshoe knives, some railroad spike knives, and we're also going to be doing one of my favorites, a tribal copper blade, suitable as a tribal knife, setting at 90 degrees in a handle, a war club, or on a long shaft, you've got a spearhead. So, cool stuff coming up, guys. Be sure to check it out. Links are in the description. Very cool. Cheyenne and I were both on Forged in Fire. I was also a Master of Arms on Discovery Channel. Okay, so you'll notice that as I'm talking about doing this quickly, I'm using a small forge, which is a pretty good forge. I like it. I use it all the time. Highly recommend it. It's taken a while to get that much steel, that much mass heated up. So there's quite a bit of mass right there. But it's taken me, once it is up to temp, it's not taking that long to forge it out. Now, if I was using, let's say, one of my Atlas Knife and Tool 1078 high carbon steel spikes, it takes longer, but I get it's working with a higher grade of steel. It requires a more complex heat treatment, and I've got to work it at a higher heat than when I do these standard spikes. Now, the standard spikes are tough, and if you quench them in a super quench, it doesn't hold too bad of an edge. I've known guys that skin deer with them, so there's got to be something to that if they're able to get that out of it. If they're putting down their Walmart knife and using something that they made themselves, I got to say that there's got to be something to it. It's got to work, right? So, guys, if you would, go ahead and subscribe and check out those links in the description. We've got some cool builds coming up soon. I'm anticipating a new Turtle Island Bowie very soon, out of ADCRV2 with an elk antler handle and a hot forged fit guard. Yes, dude. Timothy, I get a lot of horseshoes in here, a lot of used ones, and I've taken these, straightened them out, and cut them and straightened them out, And some of these are going to be hook picks. Some of them will be bottle openers. And I thought about doing some books. And that's a very cool use, upcycle. Some people call it recycling, but it's kind of hard to recycle when it's still useful, right? Here we go. Okay, repurposing, I suppose, is something I could also say. Now that is lower temp than what I would generally work high carbon steel, but this isn't a cutlery grade by any means. That works. We're going to be doing a twist on that other piece just shortly. People do ask, they say, why would you make a knife out of a blade, out of a piece of steel that's not cutlery grade? This is where a lot of people start when they start making knives. And I've had a lot of people come in here and make these specifically because they have family who worked on the railroad. Some people just think they're cool, and I think they're cool, and that's also one reason I really like the Atlas Knife and Tool 1078 spikes, because I can make a higher performance cutlery grade spike knife. That's not what I'm doing today, but we'll probably do some more builds. I did some builds in the past, and if you want to check them out, subscribe to the channel, check out some of the videos, and The one thing I will say that I did mess up on is I referred to them as castings, and apparently they are forged. I mean, I forged them, but you know, the spikes themselves, so. I guess I should be calling that nail a spike, but how do you twist the top of it? Oh, yeah, well, that's how I do the twist. I heat it up, and I put a wrench with an extension on it, and that's how I twist it. And I'm getting ready to do another one of those. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this other one out, and I'm going to try to get 2 more spikes in to heat so that I economize on time just a little bit. That one went off to the side slightly, but not bad. There we go. Now, I've got spikes cooling down here before I put them into the bin. That bin is going to hold some temp for a bit. I want to do a little maintenance on this while those 2 spikes are heating up. Now, my power hammer, I did not make. This is a tire hammer that Raymond Head made. And what I'm going to do, I've got 4 bolts here that have a tendency to loosen up with use. I'm going to take my 3/8" Allen wrench and I'm going to tighten it down because I don't want to break a bolt. All right, there we go. So, I've got these heating up. I've got just a couple minutes. And want to talk to you guys about Forge Your Memory. Now, Forge Your Memory was started in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee by Robbie Bowman, Forged Your Fire fan favorite, seasons 3 and 4, episodes 5. And Robbie's a great guy. He gave us the opportunity to join up and become part of the Forge Your Memory family. Link in the description. A couple years back, and I'm glad that we did. Now, we'll be down there at Turtle Island, September 6th and 7th, teaching some of these skills, survival blade smithing. And one of the challenges we have is the copper blade. Now, first time we went down, Robbie was telling the class, he said, you should be able to forge close enough to finish as a bladesmith to finish this out on a rock. There is a stream next to the blacksmith shop. And every time we go down, we challenge someone to finish it out on a rock in the stream, on a wet stone. And Cheyenne had some pictures of some people doing that, and she lost it on the last phone, so we're going to try to get some more people to do that and to get some more pictures this year. How much do you charge, or do you sell those nail knives? Yes, I do. I mean, spike knives. Do you have a specific name? Do you call them? We call them railroad spike knives. Sometimes I say, it's more of a letter opener. You can open your email with it. But to come into the shop and to make one yourself, it's $85. I wholesale them around $60. So it's that's what we do. Now for the high carbon, The Atlas knife and tool, I've got some of those. I sell at $125 to $175 a piece. I've even got some that I put hamon on, like a Japanese sword. You got that temper line. Those are oil quenched and they're full tempered and all. So we do have those, Rebecca. And if you go to the description, the Facebook link that will take you to Axon Main Forge, remember you can message us from there. Okay, guys and girls, boys and girls, and whatever your pronouns might be, we all get along. Oh, I got stuck. Here's what I'm going to do. We're coming back over here. We are going to use the power hammer a bit more. Safety first. All right. Go. More of a spear point or a drop point. All right. I do make kukris. There's actually one of my videos I do a kukri, and I do Persian style blades at times. Now, this was one of those 1078 blades. I wouldn't be able to straighten it that cold. Well, at least I shouldn't. Woo. All right, guys, we are getting real close to twisting another blade here. Get my other spikes up here ready to go. Go. Now, that's a hot piece of steel right there. Woo. Do I make more than railroad spike knives? Yes, I do. But I make a lot of railroad spike knives, and a lot of people come in here to make their first knife, and we want to encourage that. Now, like I was saying, Forge of Memory started in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee at Iron Mountain Metalcraft. There's a link to that in the description. Be sure to check them out. Why is it called blacksmith? Is it? No. Now, back then, yeah, that was one form that you got work or had workers or... If I say equipment, somebody's going to call it racist, but there were people who were of all different nationalities. There were white slaves, black slaves, red slaves, brown. There were slaves from all different countries, and so I just want to touch on that real quick. The reason it's called blacksmithing is they smite the black metal. The black metal's over here. I cleaned this up some, but when iron's heated, a black oxide forms. So a blacksmith, to smite, to strike black metal, which was iron, versus copper, or bronze, or anything like that, or silver, you know. It was actually because of the oxide that formed on the iron at the time, or the primitive steels. That's why it's referred to as black. Now you get into steel and it's more blue. And this I've actually cleaned off some, so it's more of that bluish. But no, this is a wrought iron horseshoe knife that's quite rusty right now. I'm going to clean it off, and that's actually going to show some of the slag inclusions and all. And once more, it's a nostalgic piece, and have a lot of rodeo enthusiasts buy these. Do I forge any parts for my Harley? No, and the reason I don't is because I ride a BTX 1300C, Honda. But I have made parts for motorcycles. Yes, I have. Absolutely. And guys, if you haven't subscribed, it's a great time to do so. All right. Guys, so I caught a piece of hot steel on my finger and it burned a little bit. You really can't tell from all the calluses. I guess I should be thankful about that. Still a little sore. It happens. Guys, I've got 4 more of these spikes to go. We're at 45 minutes in, and I'm just about ready to start forging on these other 2. So, got a question on the iron head thing. I don't know where you live. I'm in central Illinois. Around here, they always said with iron heads, you tore them down in the wintertime and rebuilt them, did your maintenance and all that. But they said that in real cold weather, they just did not run as well. Could you tell me anything about that? I've got two female blacksmiths that work in the shop. My daughter, Elizabeth Rhodes, and then Cheyenne, my spouse, Cheyenne Brown-Rhodes. I've had a lot of women come in and actually do this, but their work, female blacksmiths, although Iron Maiden does sound cool. I also like some of the music. Heat, man, these work so much better. There we go. All right, guys. So why does it seem to be moving faster? Well, very simple. Repetition, and my forge is running hotter now. There we go. Guys, Bone Shaker, how's it going? Yes, I have made blades with integral guards, yes. Staying warm. Hit my blade. Straighten her back out. There you go. Get that other one up to temp, and I'm going to do another twist. Forging spike knives today. When you get to beating on the anvil, do you get into a trance, and how many hits on the metal? Okay. Bone shaker, not generally a trance. Usually just full force drive, I'm going to get this done. However, how many hits depends upon fatigue, what I'm working on, thickness, temperature, many factors. If you hit 12 times on one side and go to the other side of the blade, it's already cooled down. You might have to hit it 20. Or you may have to heat again. It just varies. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, great opportunity to do so. Said, how long is it going to take me to make 12 of these? We're 5.5 minutes away from the hour mark. The 12 of these makes, and even if it's 40 bucks, that's $480. That's okay. Thank you. Hydrate. All right. I got 2 more of these to do, so I got about 4 to 6 more heats, and then we're going to call it. I got one spike that's just about up to temp. I'm going to let them get a little hotter because they move better, and the hotter I get, the less better I move. I don't think that was proper grammar, but leave a comment if you think it was. I have put a pineapple twist on these. It's not my favorite twist just because of the edges and all. What I like to do on a lot of my spike knives, like the ones I make from the Atlas Knife and Tool 1078 high carbon spikes, is I'll take a chisel and I will score down each flat of the handle and then I twist it, and it actually makes a really cool pattern. And since I've got a couple minutes for that to heat up, I might have one over here. Hell, I'm not. Yeah, I do. So this is one of the Atlas knife and tool. You can see I did refractory backed. You can see the hamon, the differential hardening. And then check that out. That's what I was talking about, cutting down each side. I got a little bit of rust on there I might clean off. And that right there, that is that's a true knife right there. It's 1078 high carbon steel, AK&T Atlas knife and tool. And I'm not in a hurry to sell this one. I kind of like it. Another one I did, and I do a lot of these when I have the stock. I did one with a little bit of file work. That's also an Atlas knife and tool. So I do make these out of true high carbon steel, but you're going to pay 125, 150 bucks a piece for them. I cannot make them as fast as what I do with the railroad spikes, the regular spikes. And here's the other thing: each one of those Atlas knife and tool spikes cost me about 10 bucks. So, I mean, I pay probably, I'd say, $1 or $2 for the new railroad spikes when I have new railroad spikes. Oh, I got one up to temp. Coming down on time, guys. I do a live auction on Facebook Thursday nights if you're interested. Whew. Wearing down. There you go. We'll do another twist. Awesome, Josh. Appreciate it. Or Joshua Alexander. We got one more to go. We're just past that hour mark, guys. So here we go. Thank you, Bone Shaker. So here's what I'm going to do. This is hot. You want your forge running hot. It's too hot here. So after I do this one, I am going to turn this off. Because as much as I would like to keep forging, I do have to think about safety and my health on this. So once I get done with this one, we'll take the opportunity to talk to you guys in just a moment about some cool things coming up. Now I'm going to get 4 more and I'm going to put in there just so they soften up a little bit. Some of these may be work hardened. This may or may not help, make it a little bit easier when forging. So I don't know. I always figure if I'm running the temperatures that I'm normally running, it's going to move whether it's been hardened, work hardened, or quenched or whatever before. So I'm just going to put those in there. And it's also going to remind me, hey, make more of those. Because when we do festivals and such, people really like to buy these. So this is what I'm going to talk to you guys about. And it goes back to the title of the video about for fun and profit. Was that fun? I think it was reasonably fun. At least that's what the hell I do for fun. But yeah, that'll wear a person down. Dude, I keep saying dude. Bone Shaker, the inside of that vise is all kinds of worn. It laid in a barn for decades, half buried. That thing's, I know it's over 100 years old, so it's gained that. What is pictum? I'm not familiar with that. So what I want to talk to you guys about is in the past hour and a few minutes, you've seen me forge out 12 of those. Now I did use my power hammer. And I want you to think about this. Now, besides the grinding and all, the next, hour or two that I've got in it, that I'll be doing while I'm doing other projects. So I'll be doing my grinding while I'm grinding other pieces. I'm going to be using some worn belts because these are not my good knives. These are my festival pieces, the touristy souvenirs, if you will. They're not going to sell real high. So, I mean, if I get, let's say I got $40 a piece, I just made $480 worth of stock in an hour. Now, try doing that at your regular job. If I sell them for $60 a piece, which is more likely what I'm selling them for, there's $720 in an hour. Convince your boss to pay you that. And when he doesn't, figure out a way to make it. You too can do this. You too can take something that you enjoy, that you love, and you can make money on it. And it's not about the money, it's about the freedom. It really is about the freedom. Now, I'm working out here in the heat, but I'm also helping people to learn. I'm entertaining. I'm also giving people inspiration, and I like to use that word, inspiration, and reinforcing the drive to do something else, to do something new and exciting, and to improve your life. And if you know what freedom comes down to, freedom comes down to having time for your friends and your family, and being able to do things that otherwise you can't do when you are shackled to a regular 9 to 5, which if you can only get to 40 hours a week, you're doing good. A lot of times they try to control you and treat you like you're slave labor. Not all jobs are like that. I've had some of those, and those guys don't, they're scared to talk to me anymore. I'm really a nice guy. Just look at me. I can't see. So a lot of times people think I'm mad. I'm not. It's just that my eyes aren't that great. I got to get them fixed too. But I'm working on it, guys. And I want you to take the opportunity, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We've got more live. We do a lot of live videos when we can. We do some shorts here and there. We do product reviews like on swords and axes, firearm reviews. And then we also like to do builds and just do fun videos. Talk to people so they can see what we do in the shop and how we do that. Also, I want you to take the opportunity to check out the description. In the description, there's several links. Robbie Bowman's shop, Iron Mountain Metalcraft, that's where this started in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. You can also go to the Forge Memory Family webpage, and that has detailed builds. Information's there. Go check it out. We're going to be working a little bit with Trenton Ty from Purgatory Ironworks. Links there to his webpage and to his YouTube channel. We're not trying to keep it for ourselves. We want to spread it out. We want to spread the love. We want to share it out and tell people this is something you can check out. Here's some other cool things you can go do. And if you're down in Pigeon Forge, you're down in the Sevierville, Maryville area, be sure to stop by Robbie's shop. Guys, there's also a link there, a Facebook link, that'll bring you to our shop here, Axon Main Forge and Memory. We don't have our pieces listed, but if there's something you're interested in, feel free to message us. I hope you have a great one. Stay cool, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.